Well, hello and welcome to this new little idea I'm trying out. This is Patrol Ripley's new podcast thing. Everybody does a podcast, so I might as well do it. There are many different things I would like to sit and talk about, and this might be the best format for it. I might not make another one of these, might keep on doing them, might be a once a month thing, once every couple of weeks. I don't know, it will take a little while to get all this stuff put together and record all of this. That was my biggest problem with getting this first one done, is having time to sit down for about an hour or so and just talk. My schedule's kind of a little busy and there might be lots of background noise, so I'm pretty sure you can probably hear my computer running. That's something, unfortunately, I don't really have the skills to fix right now. Uh, but I am trying to make sure nothing else can be heard, like people walking around the house, garage doors opening, lawnmowers. Might be some phone calls, because before I got up this one, we had a whole bunch of phone calls. So I don't know who they were, I was still in bed, but I'm hoping not to have a whole bunch of those. But like I said, this is a new thing. This won't be just myself. I might see if I can get some other people to join me at some point. If anybody sees this and would like to possibly join in, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to have some other people here. Just a few couple ground rules. This will be mostly a video game slash entertainment related podcast. Include probably some of my other interests like Legos, and I'm certainly going to be talking about Legos this podcast. But I'm going to try to leave most of the other stuff out of it. Like, no political stuff, no news, no... not decisive, but nothing that's, like, controversial, that sort of stuff. It's all video game entertainment sort of related stuff. I want to keep this where, for the most part, anybody watching it could keep on watching it. Because I know myself, it gets kind of a little boring when you're watching, like there's one I watch, it's a podcast on animation, and it gets a whole bunch of political stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, I came here for animation. So I'm going to try to keep this somewhat focused in that regard. For this, I'll probably use some game footage in the background. I could just go with a, like, image. I know some podcasts I watch just have an image for them on, if they put them actually up on YouTube. Just like a still image the whole time. Thought about maybe doing that, but thought it might be a little bit too boring. Maybe if I get more people involved with this, it might be worth doing that. But for right now, I'm going to be using just some video game footage. For this, I will be using Dicey Dungeon. I recorded a decent chunk of it. I might go back and record a little bit more. I don't know how long this is going to run for, but I did a couple runs in there. I'll probably keep the audio on for that, but turn it down kind of low so you can at least have like some music stuff in the background. That game, I have enjoyed it quite a bit. It's pretty good, still early access, but what it has right now is pretty solid. Just kind of needs to add some more stuff into it. Although I would have noticed, running it, or at least on my computer, it does seem to start to lag or have some skipping frames or something. It's different. Like, I'll click on some dice to move them and it won't ever register. I have to like click it again because it registered the first time, and then when you beat a battle it will stop playing music for like a second before it comes back up with the victory thing. It doesn't normally do that. It almost seems like to me it crashes all the time. It's not actually crashing, but it does kind of seem like it. So there will be a couple of little issues there because I recorded it like one chunk and it seems to only happen the longer I'm playing it. I don't entirely know what's up with that, but it's an early access game, so don't hold that too much against it, but you will probably be seeing that in the video in the background unless I didn't show up on the recording. I don't know, sometimes that weird stuff happens with that. But I did have a couple issues, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But let's go ahead and get into the meat of this particular podcast. The first topic will be, well, I guess the major topic is 2018 to 2019. What did I like in 2018? Some recommendations for stuff, and what am I looking forward to in 2019? We will start off this with movies. There was a couple of surprise movies from last year that I really enjoyed, or I enjoyed more than I thought I would, which some of those will just be mentioned here. For instance, Venom. I was really surprised by that. I thought it was going to kind of be utterly terrible. Didn't watch any trailers really for it, because I just figured Sony making a Venom movie without Spider-Man because of weird stuff with Marvel about not kind of having the rights to, I mean, technically they have the rights to Spider-Man, but they kind of gave up the rights to Marvel to include Spider-Man. There's weirdness there. I think it's probably going to be pretty good. In my mind, Venom is really related to Spider-Man. There's only a certain number of villains I could see being interesting to follow without their hero, I guess you'd say, or the foil. He wasn't one of them. No, he was pretty related to Spider-Man. Thought they did a pretty decent job of doing. I think they might have toned down his full venomness. Like, he's not as, I guess, evil as he normally is, or sometimes is. So I think they kind of helped it, but I wasn't expecting that to be that good. It's pretty good. I don't know, it might be like a 7 out of 10. I didn't really rank it, but it's like, yeah, I recommend watching it. It was better than I was expecting. Sadly, there was like one major thing I was kind of disappointed about. I had saw one article when one of the trailers had been released. I didn't watch any of the trailers, but it was talking about all the other symbiotes shown off in the trailer. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they would be showing off other symbiotes. And I read it, and it was talking about all the different symbiotes and the history from the comics and who they speculated it might be based upon all these abilities and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. They won't have all these other different symbiotes. This one shoots spikes. This, I think it was poison, sonic attacks or something. All these weird varied stuff. Only got 2. I mean, I guess that's spoiler. It's the spoiler one, if anything I'm talking about. I'm talking about spoiler stuff. But I only got 2. I mean, there was other ones that I guess technically appeared, but they didn't really do anything, and I think they might be dead. I don't know. It was a little vague about some of that stuff. But that was a little bit disappointing, but that was because that one news site acted like it was going to have all these other symbiotes in there, and I was like, okay, this could be kind of interesting, all these different symbiotes running around. But it was just 2 of them, which I mean was okay. But I kind of was hoping to see maybe a little bit more, because you had some stuff where it looked like other people were going to be getting affected by them. And it's like, okay, that's kind of a major character, so they probably just won't die immediately when they get it. I think they did, or didn't really mention them again. Maybe they'll appear later, but it just kind of got wrote off there. And I know there's also a weird segment at the beginning where it was, I guess it was trying to show you that he was a news reporter, but it had him going into work, and then it started playing some news segment somewhere, and it looked like internet news. I don't know, it was something weird. It's like he was just filming something for a YouTube channel, in my opinion. It didn't like regular news, or it was like Brock Zone or something, the Brock Spin, Brock's Reports, or something like that. It didn't seem like it was like a newsy thing, or like your regular news channel thing. It was like more of a, I don't know, it seemed to me like he would upload to his own channel, his own website. But it was just kind of weird, because it was like, okay, I guess he's going to that, but I'm like, why is he doing this? Because it didn't seem to match up, and then it had all these other weird clips. And I guess it was supposed to be showing you that he was an investigative journalist, but some of the stuff wasn't very investigative, because I think one of the things he was just covering a gay pride parade or something, and another one he was at like a landfill talking about a cover-up or people not caring about this dead body that was found. I don't know. It was a weird mix match of stuff. Like, what's this trying to tell me? I'm like, is he doing this all in one day? That took me a couple seconds to realize that, oh, this is, I guess, your montage to know that he's a reporter or something. I don't know. It felt a little bit clunky there. Especially because I think he's supposed to be like an investigative reporter asking the hard questions and stuff. And I'm like, it seems like he's just a correspondent out here covering this parade. And then there was a couple other things, but lots of them went too quickly to really pick up on. I just picked up on the dead body. Then there was a parade thing. Something else? I don't know. It was a little bit funky. Not really holding that against the movie, but I thought that was a weird choice there at the beginning, because it got me really confused. It was the thing. He was going to interview some powerful person, supposed to be humanitarian, but might have been doing some shady human experiment stuff. And it seemed like he was preparing to do something big, and it was just him at the parade. And it's like, what? Did you have to prepare that much for this? I don't know. That's enough of that. The movie overall I thought was pretty good. I saw some people saying it should have been dirtier or rated R. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you don't have to, in my opinion, see a whole bunch of blood and guts. I mean, some 8 people, so I mean, it's not like it was super clean. Although I don't know if I'd want to eat too many people if I was the person myself. And I guess it didn't have that much language, but I mean, I don't personally feel like you have to. I don't know. I feel like some movies just do that so they can say they're edgy or adult or something. I don't know. I feel like some people, some things they like. Does it have to be rated R to be mature? Can't it be mature and also somewhat clean or whatever? But I mean, that's also probably a smart move. I think it also made a decent bit of money at PG-13 rating. Probably helped a lot with that. But it was interesting. It was better than I really thought it was going to be. So I mean, that's I think a good recommendation there. Also saw Aquaman this year. Saw that actually on New Year's Eve. Really enjoyed that movie. It was better than I was expecting it to be, but I've also enjoyed the DC movies. I wasn't really expecting it to be bad. And I think I got what I wanted. Lots of cool undersea stuff. I liked had some different kingdoms of Atlantis, and some of them were a little bit different. Like you had 2 that were more humanoid. You had one that was like crab monsters. One that was, I guess, mermaid-ish, and they had more like fishy heads. But there's all these different things, a little bit more mutated than others. Thought that was interesting. Like, you had a bunch of stuff with different armies fighting each other, and that was pretty cool because you had all these different, like, racially different armies. Like, some people, they rode sharks, some had giant crabs, some just had technology. It was a cool little mixture of different aesthetics there. I thought that was really nice. I also liked Black Manta. You didn't get too much of him, but he is one character that I really like. I didn't like him that much when I first got introduced to him. I think I got introduced to him doing Batman the Brave and the Bold. Thought his design just looked a little weird with that big old helmet. Yeah. But it was, I believe, Young Justice where I saw him in that made me really start to like him. Which I just watched season 2 of that again recently, preparing for the new season coming out, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And that really made me like him. He's kind of a boss. He can kick a whole lot of butt. Pretty cool. I like his aesthetic a little bit more now, and I like his, I don't know, mannerisms or whatever. He's, I don't want to say honorable, but he seems, I don't know, maybe more like a captain of a ship. I don't know. He seemed very good with his men, at least in that show. I mean, so like stuff with the sun happened. I'm not going to talk too much about that here, but I really enjoyed him more than I did originally when I started finding out more about his character, and looking forward to seeing him more again later. I felt his explanation for his existence was pretty decent here. I liked what little bit of story stuff they gave him. Controversial opinion here, which I know I said I'm not going to mention too much. I'm just going to throw this out. This is entertainment related. I felt like they gave him a better reason to do what he was doing than they gave the people in Black Panther to do what they were doing. Personal opinion there. But I liked him a little bit more, and the reason why he was doing the stuff he was doing, or his family stuff here, than stuff in Black Panther, which was a movie I didn't care too much for. That's kind of probably shocking, because I know everybody apparently liked Black Panther, but it was okay, like 5, 6. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I guess one more point under Venom, and I'm saying we'll watch Venom, but just didn't do it for me like some other stuff. Although I think also, in my opinion, the believability that there's all this stuff hidden away under the ocean for me is a little bit bigger than there's this hidden kingdom in Africa that has all this technology and stuff. Also, they gave a pretty good reason in the Aquaman movie, in my opinion at least, for why you don't have too many Atlanteans coming onto land, which I kind of like that, because there's always a thing with those movies where there's always going to be a suspension of disbelief of why there's this magical thing hidden away from the rest of the world, or technological, I guess, because Black Panther's more technology than magical, but it's like Themyscira with Wonder Woman, how has nobody discovered that? Atlantis, there's lots of stuff with that. But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I really enjoyed the fight scenes and the designs for stuff. The Atlantean soldiers had some really cool suits. I love the colors. I like the white colors, but they introduced a couple that had just like straight black colors, and those also look super cool. Some cool technology stuff there. I want to go more into it, but that movie is new, so I don't really want to spoil too much of it. But I would say overall it was very good. I'd recommend going to see it. I also like some stuff people like complaining that it's too cheesy. Have you ever seen Aquaman? He's all cheese, and I don't really think it was too cheesy. He's a character that hides all of his insecurities with jokes, at least in my opinion. And I think that works with who they had playing him, who I have really grown to like him as an actor. Wasn't too familiar with him, I think, before the first, what was it, Justice League? Batman vs Superman, I think. Well, I guess Justice League. Batman vs Superman just had like a little small clip of him. I think I saw him in the Conan movie they did recently, air quotes. I think it was like maybe 5-10 years ago or something. Saw him there, but I didn't really remember his name. Now I recognize his name, and I've really started to enjoy the stuff he's done. So I would recommend going to see that. Let's see, anything else I really saw this year that I super cared for? Not much. I mean, I think there's probably something I'm just not thinking of right now. But I saw the Avengers, was okay. Wasn't really my thing. Although I guess it's kind of knew what was going to happen. You got to see a little bit of everybody. Oh, Thanos succeeded. Oh boy, that's I heard apparently that was supposed to be emotional, but I mean, I guess it's a movie that I know there's going to be a part 2 of. And this movie involves time travel and all this other stuff, so I'm not too concerned that people aren't going to come back. I guess my investment in Marvel movies is a little bit lower than some of the DC stuff, although you also have a whole bunch more characters to follow in Marvel, so there's ones I like more than others, but you have to kind of watch all the other ones. DC doesn't have as big a roster like that, so it's a little bit easier there, although it will always happen if you like some characters more than others. Like there's some I don't care as much for. Like I guess you could say Shazam, although I've also grown to like Shazam in recent years. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I also found out my dad apparently was familiar with Shazam, Captain Marvel stuff when he was younger, so I'm kind of interested to see that with him. I know they've changed that so many times over the years. Especially the name, but it used to be Captain Marvel, now it's Shazam. But yeah, the Avengers, I felt like I could kind of predict it. That might sound a little cheesy, but I don't know, it wasn't... I think it just had so much going on that it wasn't like there was enough singular stuff happen where I couldn't predict kind of the beats, because kind of like, you saw these characters maybe 3 times. Okay, you had the beginning, middle, and end. There was nothing between the beginning and the middle for that character. You saw them 3 times or something like that. Still okay. Visually, I would say pretty good. Would have enjoyed seeing some more Thanos' children and some of them doing stuff. I felt lots of them got killed off pretty quickly, and I thought they had like cool sounding names and all this stuff. I was kind of looking forward to seeing them do a little bit more, but so lots of them didn't. And I say that mainly because as a LEGO fan, I've seen the different LEGO sets for the movie, and you saw all these cool, interesting alien minifigures, and like, oh, those are the sons or daughters of Thanos, children of Thanos, I think? Yeah, let's include all the children of Thanos. Because I saw some people who I think more fans of the comics talking about them, so they knew who those were, and I'm assuming they had a little bit bigger role in the comics. It had me looking forward to that, and most of them just kind of did nothing, which was a little bit disappointing. But I did have a little bit higher hopes than that, but I was kind of set down. Although I will admit, Lego can spoil a bunch of stuff. Looking at Giant Man appearing in the Civil War movie, and it was appearing in a Lego set, and that was also really big because it was, I think that was our first macro figure. I think the second one was the Ares one from Wonder Woman, which I still need to get that set. Love that design. I also love the Giant Man design. Weird opinion. Ant-Man, I think, is my favorite character in the Marvel Universe. So I'm apparently all kinds of weird. People said they didn't care for Ant-Man at all. He's kind of up there as my favorite, so I'm all kind of weirdness with Marvel movies. Which I also guess to say, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. Enjoyed it. There was some kind of questionable stuff that happened, but I liked how it had a redeemable villain. A decent bit of comedy. I wish they could have done a little bit more stuff with the size changing of different things, like the cars. Like, I love the guy had the Hot Wheels wheel with the cars in it. That reminds me of an old Hot Wheels video game I had back in the day, which brought back a whole lot of memories. And I loved how the building changed sizes, and they had that little, I don't know, cart thing attached to it. I love that stuff. And I kind of wish they had a little bit more of that. Stuff they did have, in my opinion, was good. But that was some of the funniest stuff, was them just using that and everybody being, like, very serious about it, too. But overall, I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was good for what it was supposed to be. Enjoyed that more than the other Marvel movies that came out this year. How many Marvel movies came out this year? I'm pretty sure that one did, because it came out after the Avengers. Did Black Panther come out this year too? Oh, I felt like Black Panther was a year ago. Well, I thought I saw something that said Black Panther came out this year. I don't remember 3 Marvel movies came out. Oh well, there's something with that. I don't have all that stuff written down. Maybe Black Panther wasn't this year. It feels like I don't know. I'm confused. I didn't think Marvel was yet doing 3 movies a year, but they might be. Let's see, any other movies? There's a couple I still want to watch. I still want to watch The Meg. I've heard some different things about that. I heard apparently it's kind of like 2 movies, but it still looked interesting to me. Jason Statham versus a giant shark. I'll take it. I'm okay with some giant shark movies and different stuff. They're normally cheesy and maybe not good, but I enjoy them. Also want to see Predators. I've heard different things about it, which a lot of people said it's terrible, but I mean, I tend to sometimes like movies that other people say are terrible, so I'm willing to go into it with open mind. Some of the stuff in it looked kind of interesting to me. Some of the different things I've heard about. There is something interesting I heard about, though. And I think these were cut from the movie, but something about they had predator spiders or something, which I highly recommend looking that up, because the design, or at least the concept art for those, looked pretty cool. I don't know if the actual spiders, like 8 legs, or they had 4 legs. They had, like, the predator mouth on them. It's pretty cool. It's about saying, oh, during the tank scene or APC scene, they would have invaded the thing or whatever. It sounded kind of cool, but I think that was cut. I'm not sure all of the plot still with that. I'm trying to stay away from it so I can go in fresh. But one of my relatives at a Christmas party actually recommended that movie to me, asked if I'd seen it, about how good it was, and it was surprising to me because he is very old. I think he might have been in World War II, that sort of age, and he was saying he enjoyed the movie, which I was kind of surprised that he'd even watch that kind of movie. You don't think of old people watching that kind of stuff, but he did. He's also asking me if I thought Venom would be good. Hadn't seen Venom at that time, but asking me if I thought that would be good, and he wanted to see that movie. Interesting movie taste. I didn't know he had that kind of taste in movies. But I thought that was very interesting. I'm like, I definitely kind of want to see it. I still want to see it anyways. I do, most part, enjoy the Predator stuff. I've enjoyed that a little bit more than the Alien stuff. Although I have enjoyed the new Alien stuff, and, well, there's only 2 new Alien stuff. I haven't really enjoyed that. Although I am mostly a bigger fan of aliens than Alien. So, but some of that stuff just doesn't really interest me. I enjoyed the Predators movie, so I'm looking forward to this one. Just some more stuff going on. Looks fun. Also, apparently, it's supposed to be a Jarhead movie or something. It's about if you're a military guy, you would like it. So, like, okay, maybe that's why other people didn't like it. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's why the 80-something-year-old war vet liked the movie. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to watching that one soon. Other movies from this year. I'm trying to think of, like, big ones. Uh, I did see Jurassic World 2. It was okay. I guess it advanced the story along, had some interesting stuff, lots of weird stuff. I would myself definitely done it differently. I felt like I guess, poachers, or I don't know, people just started capturing the dinosaurs. They turned evil a little bit too quick. I mean, they turned evil very quick. I feel like they're probably going to wind up being bad guys or kind of bad guys, but could you at least not try to kill all these people and do all this stuff? Just go ahead, go along, capture it, capture the dinosaurs, sure, and then we can find out you're selling them to all these people to do who knows what with. But I felt like they kind of did evil stuff too quickly. There was a twist in the end, which, spoilers if you going to watch that movie, but you find out this little girl you've been following for lots of the movie, she's a clone. I mean, kind of expected that. It wasn't too much of a twist. You've already also cloning dinosaurs, so cloning a dead human's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. It's not that much of a leap. But hey, they did it. Kind of interesting. They released dinosaurs into the world for stuff that could probably be in the next movie, which I actually kind of thought would be the point of this movie based on lots of the trailers. Lots of the trailers contained footage from the very end of the movie. Like, honestly, it was kind of crazy. The stuff where it's like the mosasaurs going by the surfers, end of the movie. Dinosaurs roaming loose in the city, end of the movie. It's kind of crazy. Oh, lots of the stuff with that one dude, Ian McCallum? Ian McCallum? I think it's Ian. Ian McCallum. That sounds about right. At least from the books. I'm pretty sure the guy says the same name in the movie. It just reminds me more of the books than that guy was. Jeff Goldblum. I think Jeff Goldblum. That sounds like the right guy. The person he plays. I don't remember the name of the character. It's just him. So it's hard to remember who exactly he plays. But I'm thinking that's right. That sounds like the character from the book. Which I've actually read both of the books. Great books. Highly recommend reading them. I guess technically better than the movies, but they're a little bit different than the movies too. So, for the most part, I'd say that's why. It's a little bit of a different experience. But like a lot of his testimony stuff was from the end of the movie. He had a little bit at the beginning of the movie, and then you had a little bit at the end of the movie, which is funny because I saw him kind of forefront with the marketing for the stuff, and he was barely in the movie, which I thought was kind of a little bit funny, a little bit misleading, but that felt kind of like the whole point of the movie too. It did some stuff. Some of the stuff was okay. A little bit of dinosaurs will be roaming the end. Roaming the Earth now at the end. I say roaming the Earth. It got released in California, so they're not gonna be like too much. But yeah, all this kind of talk at the end about, well, we'll have to let them just roam around. We'll have to integrate them to society. It's a T-Rex. You shouldn't kill that thing. Put it down. It's gonna be killing people. I guess there's a weird bit of ecological stuff. Like, we have to protect the wildlife, but I mean, they already went extinct, so why do they need to be protected? And if they're already cloned, can't you re-clone them too? They're not like they're gonna go extinct for good here. You have the technology. Or you did have the technology. But anyways, this kind of was like, if a grizzly bear is going around killing people, they'll probably capture it and put it down. Or something, maybe relocate. I don't know. I think if it kills somebody, they might actually kill it. It's a T-Rex. It's going to be causing property damage. I think it actually had to walk onto a highway. Or it was a Brontosaurus or Apatosaurus. Well, one of the long-neck ones. Brontosaurus might be the one that actually doesn't exist now. It was something I remember about 10 years ago. It was some long-neck one that the name was very familiar or like popular that came out was actually not real. It was just a skeleton of another one that somebody misidentified. But then I think I looked it up a couple months ago when I started playing Jurassic World Evolution, and it seemed like it might now be its own dinosaur again because they found out they might have been mistaken with that person's mistake or something weird. I don't know, citation needed. For like some different dinosaur park management games, so I'm really looking forward to having some of those out. Uh, there's a lots of confusion with all that stuff with that. As much as I like dinosaurs, just kind of like, just give me a book when you decide to sort it out, or whether the T-Rex had feathers or not, or whatever. Just come back to me when you finish that all out. But that movie, I mean, it's probably worth watching. It has some okay stuff in it, but it is overall kind of a bit weird. Something I saw mentioned about it, and I do agree with this, is it felt like the movie was a means to an end to get to the next movie, where you actually have the dinosaurs roaming around loose and humans having to interact with them. It kind of feels like it was setting up that, which kind of was a waste of a movie. You might could do this with a little flashback or something. But I mean, it existed. It's not the worst thing ever. I've seen definitely way worse movies. It's okay. Let's see. But that's, I guess, 2018. Now we'll go into what's 2019 looking forward to. Godzilla. That movie looks interesting. Looking forward to him fighting all these other titans, I guess they're calling them now. And I think there's also 2 more that might be added. I know there's 4 fully revealed, and there's 2 more that kind of pending together. There might be some other stuff. Looking kind of fun. Something about the other 2 dinosaurs, titans. They think are some type of crab or scorpion creature, some kind of anthropod. Anthropod? That sounds about right. I think that's crustaceans, insects, crabs, spiders, that sort of stuff. Something that looks kind of like that. Something with some spikes on it, which might be Anguirus. I think it's about the director said he really likes Anguirus, so hoping we'll see something of that. Although I'd like to see Anguirus for front and center with the marketing, because he might be my favorite kaiju. I do love me some Anguirus. But looking forward to that movie. We fun seeing a whole bunch of these different fights stuff going on. Hopefully we get more kaiju than we did in the first Godzilla movie of this, I guess, series. Let's see, also the Lego movie. Looking forward to that. Love Lego movie. The first one, also, I've really enjoyed the other 2 movies they have made, so I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel. Some of the different things they're doing here looks very fun. I love the sets for it that are already out. There are lots of very nice looking ones there. So probably will be actually seeing that one in theaters. Although I saw the first Lego movie in theaters. Actually, I think I've seen, well, I saw all but the Ninjago movie in theaters. But I mean, I do really like them, so I'm going to go see that. Let's see, there's a couple other movies, I believe. There's one I don't know the name of, but it's an animated movie, and it has Will Smith voicing the main character, which I didn't even recognize. I saw that at the end of the trailer. It's kind of shocking to me. It looks like it might be good, but there's a twist with it. The trailer starts off showing it's this black spy guy, and he looks very suave, very cool, and I'm like, okay, this would be cool. I'd be interested in a black spy movie. No, don't have to like change anything for something else, just make something original. This looks cool. Face is a little bit weird. Animation's very stylistic, but I can get used to it. It's very unique and interesting. I could go with it. And then, like near the end of the movie, it has him turned into a pigeon. And I think something about being undercover, and I think the movie's going to be a spy turned into a pigeon. I think that's what the movie's going to be about. So, I mean, it still looks interesting. It just was, I like the spy idea a whole lot more. That looked like I could watch a whole movie about that. Although even then that looked kind of funny. It had like a female pitching it all up on him, rubbing up against him. He kept on pushing it away. He had talked like his sidekick guy who turned him into a pigeon or something. I don't know. It looked interesting. Might be fun. Let's see, of course, there's all these other movies coming out this year. Oh, Shazam, I mentioned that earlier. Looking forward to that. Looks pretty fun. Let's see. One other movie that I was very surprised by that I saw a trailer for. I had heard they were making one. I didn't know if it would be good, but it looked better than I was expecting it to be. They're making a Playmobil movie, which I guess is kind of copying off. I mean, not to say copying, but it's like, I feel like it's kind of similar to Lego. I don't know if there's as much like building stuff going on. I think some of this is made a little bit more pre-built, less of a choking hazard and stuff. It's like I'm not as familiar with. I'm pretty sure I probably had some as a kid. Although I know like the company does other things, but they have like their own toy things. I guess kind of ish like Lego, but they're making a movie, and it kind of reminds me of that. I saw a trailer for it. Looked okay. I might go. Might go and see it. No, I'm not gonna go and see it. I might see it when it comes out. I might rent it. It looked interesting enough, in my opinion. Didn't look terrible. Looked like it was actually kind of funny. Had some good lines. Yeah, I might recommend checking it out if you like the Lego movie. Don't know if it's going to be as good as the Lego movie. They did do a Fortnite dance in it. But, hey, it is what it is. Looked better than I was expecting it to be. But I think that's it really for movies for next year. Now on to video games from this year. I'm going to do like a little quick thing here. Kind of like the best of with different versions or different systems. Although I don't really have anything for the Xbox. I don't know of any Xbox like exclusives that came out this past year. I guess Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I think that was it's 4 now. That sounds about right. The one that had the Blackout. Blackout. I think the Battle Arena stuff. That game actually looked okay. It looked decent. I guess we'll go with that one. I don't really know much for the Xbox. To be fair, I don't know too much for the PlayStation. I don't have one. But I would say God of War 4. I know some people really like Spider-Man, but to me, Spider-Man was kind of like a 7 or 6. It was, I guess, kind of like an Arkham version for Spider-Man, which is okay, but I don't care as much for Spider-Man. The gameplay just didn't interest me that much. I'm not going to go and get one, man. It also doesn't hurt that I don't have a PlayStation, so that's a big thing. But it wasn't as big for me, even though I know that game did rather well, and I'm happy for the people that made it. Would be nice to get some other superhero games, cause while I like Batman, the Arkham games just didn't ever really interest me too much. But I would love to have some other superheroes get some video games. So that would be pretty cool in my opinion, if they did take the success of that to make more stuff with. But God of War 4, to me that one was really good. The story for it felt so good. Like, in my opinion, it put games you would call walking simulator to shame. Ones that like a whole lot more about the narrative than gameplay. This had the narrative and it had the gameplay, and I thought that was really nice. The gameplay in it to me looked fun. I liked some of the different challenges there. You had different side questy things. It felt open world while still being somewhat structured. There was some like side paths to go off of. Then you had your main lake area which you could go around, and there was story reasons to go around it, but there were different bits to stop off at. It didn't ever feel too open, which I don't know if it technically would even qualify as open world, but lots of open world games to me feel like they make them open and they leave them too open. They don't have content there, and I felt like here always had some content. There's always kind of stuff to go back and do. I thought there were progression to unlocking new things like making the light bridge and blowing up the explosive tree sap, I believe that's what it was. Thought that was done rather well story wise, for like all this stuff to kind of be there, how you kind of progressed on. Like I said, I liked the different side stuff. Thought there was nice-ish variety there. The story really had me hooked, and this is from somebody who never played any other God of War games. I could follow along with what was happening. I did watch a couple other people play it that had played some of the originals, and they mentioned some of the stuff, but for the most part you didn't really have to know the original games to be able to follow this one. I think that's a good testament to how good the story was. Is for, I would say, it's not, I think, really the fourth in the series, and there's a whole bunch of other spin-off games, some other stuff. I think there's maybe 5 games before that one, something weird. Even though it's the 4th one. It was very good to me. The only, I think, real thing I have to say negatively about it is the reuse of some enemy boss characters, because you kind of had just a couple number of flavors of them, and that got a little bit repetitive seeing them constantly over and over again. And it would have been nice to have a couple more fights with gods or other characters or people unique to that setting there, and just he were fighting this, I don't know, it wasn't Draga, troll, orc, whatever again. It'd be nice to have a couple more stuff. You fought, I guess, 3 gods in the game, then you fought the leader of the Dark Elves, and that's kind of it from what I remember. I guess the one fight with a dragon, and then I guess you had the Valkyries, but all those were extra optional stuff. I would like to have a little bit more there, but overall I think the game was pretty good. Really looking forward to seeing another one come out. That one may be tempted enough to almost buy a PlayStation, though that's super expensive, so it stopped me right there immediately. But that one almost made you go out and buy a console just so I could play it. So for me, that's a good testament to how good that game was. For Switch, might go Smash Brothers. I've been debating this. That's definitely high up there. Really good. Did very well. But I think I might give it to Let's Go Eevee. I'm not gonna give it to Pikachu. I'm gonna give it to Eevee. I like Eevee better. I think I'm gonna say that because I liked how much hate that game got before it was released, and how many people liked it afterwards. I love going onto Twitch and seeing about everybody I was subscribed to playing it, and some of them are still playing it now. I like some of the changes it made. I like the way you catch Pokemon in that. I'm okay with Pokemon Go. I still play it occasionally. I liked having them actually walk around on there, so you can walk into them, just they pop randomly out of the tall grass. It made it feel like the world was a little bit more alive. I like how you could have Pokemon following you, and some of them you would actually ride on if they were the right size or whatever. Shiny hunting was a whole lot easier. The EV stuff seemed like it made it a little bit more casual with how you could catch, although also the game really encouraged you to catch more Pokemon. For me, I normally catch the first one, I don't ever do it again, although I'm not like I don't say pro Pokemon player, but I don't get involved enough to care about EV training and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it made it more front and center in this game, and this one encouraged you more to capture more. Oh, that's my point. I don't normally capture more than one unless you need it for some kind of weird stuff, like there's a split evolution path, you need to trade it or whatever. I normally catch my first one and then I'll use it. I don't trade it out for one that has a better nature or any of that stuff. I feel like this game made that a little bit more upfront, and it encouraged you to go out there and actually capture more Pokemon, so it made you, I guess, more likely to go do that. I thought the fights were okay enough. I mean, I feel like they changed all too much. Pokemon battles, I mean, they're okay, but I mean, they could get tedious. Lots of people just skipped all that stuff anyway, so I don't really get what everybody's complaining about. I feel like there's a whole lot more trainers now than there were originally. I mean, overall, I like it. If you're going to give me another remake of the original Pokemon games, I think that was pretty good. I'd like to see a couple more get added in. Maybe do this for some of the other games now, if you're going to do remakes of them. I've enjoyed enough. Maybe like for Gen 4, do a regular remake first, but then you continue doing, I guess, a Heart Gold, Soul Silver version of that. I don't know what they would use there. I don't know, Fanfy maybe? But I enjoyed it. I thought the mechanics for the most part was pretty good. The end game, from what I've seen of it, sounds interesting. I haven't actually played too much of it, I will admit, but I've seen decent bit of it. I try not to really get myself spoiled on it. I want to go through and play it myself. And fortunately, I've only played a little bit of it, but that was because I got it like 2 days before Smash came out, and then I played a whole bunch of Smash, which might mean I should rate Smash over Let's Go Eevee. But I'm putting Let's Go Eevee above Smash for the fact that I like the changes it made to the formula there, and I'm hoping to see them more down the line. Also, I think that game was more successful than people thought it was going to be. Everybody knew Smash was going to be big. I don't know if people thought Let's Go Eevee would be as big. and I have really enjoyed it. Actually, I even got the collector's edition. So I have the box in next to me. Still trying to get far enough along to actually check to see if that Pokeball in it still has Mew, or somebody had already like snagged it or something. I heard that was a problem. But that's my Switch game. PC. I don't think I actually played too many PC games this year. I mean, honestly, this past year, nothing that was really super new. So I guess I'm kind of skipping over that. I mean, it's weird. I mostly play PC games, but I don't think I really played anything new this year. Kind of sad. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I did technically play some new stuff, but lots of the new stuff I played was early access, and I don't feel like ranking them up there as best game of the year. That's at least for a personal opinion of mine. But for stuff I'm looking forward to this coming year, there's lots, although my list is also weird because I also have games on there that I'm looking forward to because I'm looking forward to them coming out so I can watch somebody else play them. Because there are some games I'm not good at, like Metro, that I'm looking forward to watch somebody else play, like Yeti. Looking forward to watching him hopefully play Metro Exodus. I imagine he probably will. I'm also looking forward to probably watching somebody play Dying Light 2. I picked up that game, I think last year. Actually, I did pick it up last year. I enjoyed that. Maybe it was the year before. I don't know, it's time they had that super kick. We could kick people into space. That was fun. But I thought the game was pretty decent. I didn't play all too much of it, but I'd already seen like a lot of the story. So I saw the whole story stuff and decent bit of the side content by watching Liadi's playthrough, which is what kind of encouraged me to get it. But it was just kind of, as much fun as the game was, that was a game for me that kind of needed to still have the story to get myself to play it again, or play it multiplayer, which I never actually got around to doing with anybody. But that's the one I kind of needed to experience the story to keep me playing, but I already kind of had that spoiled to me because I watched the full playthrough of it, so I didn't kind of keep on going, but what little bit I played of it I enjoyed. Depending on, I guess, if Yeti, or maybe anybody else I'm following, plays it like as soon as it comes out, I might not wind up getting it because I will have seen the story, unless they do some weird changes there that makes it, I don't know, split path or something, which I actually think it might have been. I think this is about you actually can make faction relations or something like that, but probably won't actually wind up getting that one because I will probably have watched somebody else play it and like played the full thing. So yes, it's one of those weird things, in my opinion, with YouTube where you can watch all these games, and some of them, I do feel like after you watch them, I don't feel as motivated to play them because I've already seen somebody else play it. I know there's lots of back and forth about some stuff with that, or whether that's good or not, but I will admit some of them, it winds up like that for me. Which is, fortunately, that will be, I'm pretty sure, one of them. But I do support the devs with that. I might even just pick it up to support them because I did pick up the other one. I thought they made a pretty decent game there. Let's see what I'm looking forward to. Oh yes, Fire Emblem, 3 Heroes. No, 3 Houses. I'm not Engine. Looking forward to that. Looks fun. Might be delayed because I haven't released anything for it for a while. But that looked fun. Lots of changes going on there. Really want to get my hands on it to see if what all is up with the changes. With you actually have like squads of soldiers instead of just one unit. Kind of like that makes more sense that you would have all these regular soldiers. I guess you have like your hero person leading them, and they'll be the one you'll be interacting with, and they'll be the person in the story. I'm assuming. But that looked good. Might not be. I don't know. I'll get my hands on it. Might be terrible. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy it's on the Switch because I haven't really touched my 3DS in a while. Not saying the 3DS is bad, but I do prefer my Switch a lot more. Although I can also sit that on the TV screen so I get a little bit of a bigger picture. But looking forward to that. Looking forward to, I think, Demon X Machina. That game looks interesting. One of the designers behind it, or I guess visual designers or mech designers, is one of the people that made a bunch of the mechs for Robot Wars. Not Robot Wars, Robotech. Macross. So I'm really looking forward to that. Gameplay for that looks interesting. Might play that with Jason. I think it's multiplayer and he likes mech games. So I'm looking forward to actually, hopefully, doing that. Game looked interesting enough, in my opinion. Let's see, other games. So there's lots of games. I forget about them a lot. Well, I guess there's lots of TBS games I've been following that hopefully will come out that year. I mean, this year. Zenitsu, hopefully. Fort Triumph, maybe not. I don't know. They're changing some of the core gameplay elements of it. They just have to, I guess, release all the other stories, so they could. I don't know how quickly that could get done, but it seems like that one might not be this year. Maybe Galaxy Squad. I don't know. The guys releasing constant updates for it, so that's pretty impressive. But I don't know if that will come out too soon. Troubleshooter, maybe, but that might be a game that's always in development. Really like that. But like I said, there's lots of different TBS games there. Kind of interested. Might be a new XCOM thing coming out. I don't know. I saw some stuff where like there might have been something announced, but I don't think anything ever actually did. Or what was it? It was the that old pack thing for the new game or whatever. Yeah, it was but so I'm looking forward to a couple of those. There's a couple other games I remember seeing mentioned that I kind of look forward to. I will probably watch the new Gears of War game when that comes out. I'm not going to play it. I'll watch it though. I'll watch somebody else play it. I enjoyed watching the last one, but we'll admit that was kind of short. But it was a fun watch for me. I mean, I guess I didn't buy the game, so that helped. And there's all these like some random small games I see. Don't remember all the names off the top of my head, but we're hoping Dicey Dungeons does come out. That would be nice. Might be interested in getting Meeple Station when that comes out, or at least watch somebody else play it. Like I said, there's a couple other smaller games. I probably should have wrote those down before doing this, because I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but like I said, there's also a surprisingly decent number of small games to look forward to coming out, so it's hard to keep track of all of those. I mean, I guess also the new Pokemon game, the main series Pokemon games, I think is supposed to come out this year, maybe. That looks interesting. There was a couple other ones, I think Nintendo related, that I'm kind of looking forward to. Just don't remember them all right now. So I guess we'll move on. That's a long enough segment talking about all of that. Let's see. Let's move on to... I guess we'll move on to Lego. There was lots of cool Legos released this year. I'm just going to kind of do a small segment on this. I don't know how many people are that interested in it. But I enjoyed the superhero stuff they released. Or I guess I think more so for the DC stuff than the Marvel stuff. Because I think the Marvel stuff was all just Spider-Man related, if it wasn't from the movies. The DC stuff was a little bit more vague. I know people still complain about it's always being Batman, but there's a whole lot of other characters thrown in, at least in my opinion. And there was lots of ones I wanted to get. I didn't get too many this year, unfortunately. Although I had money spending, I'd spent money in other places this year. But were a couple cool ones. I liked the one that had the Talons with Batman. I mean, there was another Batman set, but I liked the Talons, and that is Batman related. So yeah, sure. The movie sets they released this year I thought were pretty decent. I don't think I actually got the Aquaman one, but I believe I did get the Aquaman set from the Justice League movie, because I did want an Aquaman. So I did actually wind up getting that one, which I'm happy about. Do want to get all of those sets from Justice League at some point when I get the money, because I liked all of those and I liked the movie. But I like the minifigure selection that released this year. I think there was a Green Lantern. Maybe that's this coming year. I'm getting them kind of mixed up because I didn't buy too many this year, but I remember seeing a lot of them that were good. Oh, the one that had Poison Ivy, and I think it also had Firefly in it. It had what was the actual name of that Batman show? It wasn't the Batman the animated series. It might have been The Batman or something like that. That was out when I was younger. It was on WB Kids, I believe. And oh boy, I love the designs from that one. Even though they don't match up well with what the character is supposed to look like, the Firefly from there was one that I really liked, and I like how they actually made that version of that. Might be actually the regular version. I'm not as familiar with Firefly. Most of the times I have seen Firefly since then. They are very different than what they were in that one, which I'm enjoying. We're actually getting that one. So I do plan on picking at least that set for sure up. There was a couple other interesting ones they released. Like I said, I do like the selection. I like how they're changing it all up and not just releasing one, like based on just one character. I feel like they might have messed up with that with the Spider-Man. Actually, no, actually, never mind. I think Spider-Man stuff's actually supposed to be this year, but people got it like November of last year, early. So they're not technically last year. But I know they're kind of changing some stuff up every now and then about whether they'll release just one character mixed bag with it might be not all Spider-Man related. Although Marvel tends to do like lots of the Spider-Man sets, which I guess that's the big one. Maybe that's their maybe that's their Batman, because you only get lots of Batman sets. Although at least with Batman sets you get vehicles. Not saying people like vehicles. I know people are always complaining about that kind of stuff. But vehicles does take up room in a set, and they do need to get their piece counts down. And it makes more sense for them to do that with Batman than they would be to give Superman something, in my opinion. But I also enjoy a decent bit of the city sets released. People always complain about that, but I have a big city collection. I actually have like a city built up, so it's nice to see some of those stuff released. I like some of the other sub themes. I believe this year was the like a new miners, and was the Arctic this year? The Arctic was last year. I still see some Arctic sets sitting around, but I like some of those other sub themes to have like expand some different areas. I got lots of the mining sets from the last time they did it, so I didn't get too many. This time I didn't get any really this time, although I do plan on trying to get some at some point when I get the money. Really do like those mine sets, and it works nicely with what I have for my cities with the displays I have set up. It was kind of sad to see Nexo Knights go, because I really like Nexo Knights, mainly for the enemy vehicles. I thought those were always awesome. Loved the first wave. Second wave had some even better ones. Still want to go back and get some of those. Never actually got any from the third wave, but I was still collecting ones from the first and second wave at that time. So I might try picking some of those up at some point, like the brick set, but those will be super expensive. But those will be cheaper than me going back and getting some Castles 2007 sets and Exo Force sets and Mars Mission sets. Oh boy, I have a whole bunch of sets to go back and get at some point to complete my collection. That's going to be expensive. But I really do like those waves, so I'm going to go back at some point and get them. But this year, stuff coming up, hard to remember all the stuff for this year, because I saw it, like I said, November of last year. That stuff gets leaked pretty early, and so people go ahead and get some of them. But the Lego Movie 2 sets look really good. Nice variety there. Let's see. The Sky Police stuff with City, kind of stupid, but I kind of like it. I mean, some of the stuff like the skydiver out of the jet to catch a speeding car, that was a little maybe much there. That's not the most realistic. But having the stuff where there was like drones and different things going around, I kind of like that. Which I also think maybe like that more, because I believe the time I saw lots of that stuff announced, like the official stuff with the city, was when it was I think 2 days later on the news. Something about they had to shut down, I think, airports at London because somebody was flying some drones around or something like that. So it was like, oh yeah, I could see you maybe having to make something special to deal with the drone stuff. There was this big incident with that. I mean, that made news here in America. They had to shut down the airport because of that. It's the only like news thing I'll talk about. I know I said I won't talk about too much, but like that I felt like was a nice story I saw to kind of back up where like I could see maybe having to make some more special sky stuff. It's still a little out there, but I mean, hey, it's interesting. Not the same old city stuff. You get to see a couple more different things. I like some of the designs on some of the things. I thought the drones looked pretty cool personally. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. The other city stuff look cool. You have some like basic stuff, but the fire sets still look cool. Like actually including structures now. There's so much to be like abandoned structures that are half built and on fire and stuff. Like not the best displays for your city, but it still can add something a little bit to your city. The burger sign thing, I guess. I don't know. It's on a post. And it's like a big burger. It's not like a real sign, but I don't know, giant burger on a stick, basically. That would still look nice in your city displayed around. So I'm happy about that. What are they called? The modular building, the garage, that looks pretty cool. Haven't gotten many of those recently because they go into the more, I don't know, 60s, 50s theme. I can't remember what exact retro age is, but a little bit more bright and colorful than the other ones. But that one does look pretty good. I like the design of that one. I enjoy most of the modular buildings. There's still some I want to go back and get. I still want to get the cafe coin at some point, but that's going to be like $800, which is going to be a little bit expensive. But I do want to get the first one at some point. But I do like those for my collection. They look very nice. They help really add to the city, or adds to a nice downtown area of the city. And I would like to try getting that one at some point. Let's see, other stuff this year. The Ninjago stuff's just legacy stuff, which kind of nice. It might be something I might pick up, because I never got to pick up originally, but yeah, I pick up some stuff with Ninjago every now and then. Lots of times it's the smaller sets and character packs, just to kind of get stuff I want, but I might get a cool set every now and then. Like I got the, guys, just when Toys R Us was still open, rip. It was the one that had, when they were fighting, I think, the Sky Pirates, and it was the big fig. I got one of those sets. The first time I got somebody, like, already bought it, opened it up, took out all the minifigures, and they resealed it, and I bought that one, but I had to go back and return and get a new one. But I actually wound up getting that one. But I will get stuff like that to get cool, unique minifigures and stuff. I don't normally get too many of them. I'm not like a super big collector, but I do kind of try to follow along, get a couple things every now and then. The villains normally are always pretty cool. I could use them somewhere, someplace, so I like to kind of keep track with that. Actually, I got for Christmas a whole bunch of minifigure packs. And I got 2 Ninjago minifigure packs, some other Ninjago stuff. Oh, that was also good. They were doing the Bricktober Ninjago minifigure giveaway if you spend like $50 or something like that at the Lego store at that time. And I really wanted to get that minifigure pack, because I thought it wouldn't ever be released, because it was supposed to be a Toys R Us exclusive, and they were giving them away in Toys R Us in Canada. So I didn't think I'd ever be able to get it, so I really wanted to make sure I got that. So I got a whole bunch of random minifigure packs, because kind of in a way, that's what I like the most with the Ninjago stuff, is the minifigures. So I try to get those whenever I can, only like a 5th Kai bike or whatever. I just kind of try to get the cool stuff. We'll probably wind up getting the one that's the, I think it's the macro fig with 4 arms. That one looks pretty cool, and I do want to get a macro figure at some point. But yeah, there's that. Not too much else that I really remember hearing about that was super interesting. I am looking forward to seeing some more stuff throughout this year. Hopefully they might try releasing another cool new line. I would love a new like medieval or space theme. I'm hoping they do one of those soon. But let's see, I guess that's it for Legos. Well, I will also say, don't know when this will go up, but at the time of recording this Saturday, I will hopefully be going to Brick Fair near where I live, and I might upload some videos videos I record of some of the stuff there. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm a big Lego fan. So I go to that kind of stuff. But you see some awesome stuff, and I'll probably spend a whole lot too much money on buying random minifigures. I'm always up for buying Aliens from Mars Mission. I have a giant collection there. Although lots of those I had, like I broke the little hinge that connected the upper part to the bottom part. So I'm always up for getting some more of those when I can. So I normally just buy up all of them I see, which isn't the best money thing to do, but I have this giant collection of them now, and I'll plan on keep on growing it for some reason. I'll do something with it eventually. Might just resell it at some point. That's what my Legos are basically. It's my retirement. It's my collection and my baby, but I might have to sell it at some point. But they always go for value, so I'll be good. But one last thing before we end this, because I'm over an hour, and I don't think I actually recorded an hour's worth of video, so I have to go back and record some more game footage of something. Probably still Dicey Dungeon. If you see the gameplay smooth out a little bit, that's why. It's a new game on there. But the last thing we'll talk about is anime, also entertainment related. Some good shows I saw this season. Probably the best one I saw was, I can't remember the person's name. I should look it up. I believe it was Akano School Road. I believe it was something along that line. It was a girl who had, I think she was high school, or Japanese high school, which I'm not sure like what all that is. They might be a little bit younger or older. but she was around that age. She likes to play video games. She likes to play American video games, which was interesting. I had a little bit of a small story talking about how she only got there's only one magazine about American video games that they sell in Japan, and the place that she bought it replaced it with a Boys Love comic or something. That was an interesting story, because apparently it's actually, at least according to that, hard to kind of find American style video games in Japan, which I guess makes sense. They have a whole bunch of video games they sell themselves. But that was in my opinion, very interesting storyline there. But she plays lots of American style video games, and she has Game Brain, which was actually very interesting. Basically, people might kind of already know about this, but it's kind of like you play enough video games, you start to kind of see real life in a video game-ish type sense. And one of the things was there was blocked off from going to school. There was a little detour they set up, they, I guess, was repaving the sidewalk or something. I don't know. One of those road sidewalk things they have over there, and there's a long detour to make it late to school. She decided to instead Assassin's Creed her way up onto the roof. I think it's like Assassin's Creed type game she was supposed to be playing, and walk across the roof to bypass all the detour stuff. And there's it's like a short thing. Might have 3 separate storylines each episode. I think the episode might actually be 24 minutes, like your standard length. I don't think it's a 12-minute one, if I remember correctly. It might actually been 12. I don't remember. It was lots of comedy stuff. Wind up meeting all these other characters. It's not all about that. They do other jokey things, some relationship stuff. Her getting into a bad situation with some biker people and having to try to pretend to be a cool assassin in one of her video games or something. I thought it was hysterical. The English dub I found to be very awesome with it. I feel like the American voice really, or the American voice, English voice really fit with it. How they did, there was lots of slang and stuff being thrown around, more video game, maybe younger people, internet slang, but it felt like it really matched with what was going on. I never watched the Japanese version, so I don't know, maybe it's all lines up like that, but I thought it was very, very good there. It was, I think to me, I'd actually rate that as the best show of the year, or at least the best one I saw. Well, I actually forgot about Hina Matsuri. I think I might rate this one above Hina Matsuri, because it had some weird stuff every now and then. But Hina Matsuri was another one that was really good. It was, let's see, how's the best way to describe it? Because it started off with a description that sounded very interesting. The show was good, but it really deviated from that. Something about telepathic girl appears in this dude's room, and he's a member of the Yakuza, and he gets sent to go kill some people, and she kind of helps him but not kill them, and he kind of adopts her as his kid because she's 12 or something. She also appears naked, but let's just ignore that. You don't see anything. And it's just weird, zany stuff. You have another character, Anzu. Yes, Anzu. She's awesome. Best character. Best girl, Crunchyroll 2018 Anime Awards. She better win. She comes along, does some other stuff, meet all these different characters. You just have random storylines going on. The chick has all these psychic powers, or maybe telepathic powers. I guess not psychic powers, but she's can lift things and throw stuff, all this interesting stuff like that. She comes from another dimension or something where she's an assassin, and he treats her like a person, so she likes it. It's a hysterical comedy. You also have middle. I think everybody's supposed to be in middle school there. Maybe not Ainsley. I don't remember how old she's supposed to be. She's a little bit older, I think. I don't know. She lives with the homeless community out in the woods. That's interesting. They have a whole episode about the plight of the homeless communities in Japan, inner city Japan, and about how to collect cans and where you can find money and stuff. Very in depth. Really surprising. That was interesting. We also have another middle school girl who gets blackmailed into working as a bartender because she's an excellent bartender. I don't know. It's all this kind of hysterical stuff. Two great comedies there. Let's see, one other show. I'm a little bit iffy about recommending this one because it got a little weird at times. It was definitely a dirtier show. You could have left out some of the stuff and been. I probably would rank it a little bit higher because sometimes it got a little bit too dirty. But with How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, that show most of the time made me freak out, laugh hysterically. Best Boy Emil, I think it was Emil Bonaventure or something like that. I think what's his name, Bonatar. Really, really hysterical character there. Protector of all women with golden armor, super pretty boy. But the story is, guys, Otaku plays video games, plays some MMO, pretends to be the Demon Lord because it's PvP stuff, and he likes to kill couples or something. And something about these people try to summon a Demon Lord to go fight another Demon Lord or something. Get what the exact reason was they summoned. I remember like all the story stuff. I don't really want to spoil that. I just don't remember what was the exact reason they had to do that. I know one of them was a summoner, and I think she was trying to get another summon, but they actually wind up summoning him, and he has like all of his powers from the video game, and he also has like reverse magic, some kind of ring. It's a super powerful sounding ring, but it reflects all magic. So when they summoned him and also tried to like, I don't know, I guess enslave him. That's what you do to the creatures that you summon. It bounces back on them, so he technically enslaves them. So we kind of go away with that at some point. It's just people come and like, well, you are a slaver. You have people these girls in colors, but he doesn't really force them to do anything. Because I think if the first episode actually shows he can force them to do stuff, but he doesn't really do any more of that. But it's just interesting. Most part, it's pretty funny. I love the writing. Actually, gosh, they even added some more stuff into the English version. Like they capture some bad guys, and he's talking about how weak they are, and they just add in the English line. One of the guys they captured, just dick. I don't know. I love that. That was not in the Japanese version. They added that in the English version, but I thought that was hysterical. The voice cast is pretty good. Was pretty good. There's a lot of dirty stuff that it gets a little bit weird at times. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the world. I wouldn't mind seeing some more of it. They could kind of tone a little bit of that stuff down, like it's a little bit creepy. Some of the characters they do it with are a little bit, but for the most part, like, the other stuff of the show, I really enjoyed it. I guess it was taken kind of stuck in a video game type setting, but it felt a little bit different because I'm not really caught up on it being too much like the video game. It's just kind of some stuff from the video game, but I like how they translate to the real world. Like one of the things was talking about why nobody's super high level and none of the humans are super high level, and it kind of gets brought up. Well, in this one, like in the video game, you'd go out, you would grind, fight some enemies. Oh, you died? Oh, well, you respawn. So you keep on going up and fighting them. There's no super risk to your life. Well, in here, they go out and fight the enemies to try to get stronger. If they get surrounded, they're dead and they're dead forever. So there's lots of people in here who are not strong. I like some of the world building with that. Nice little change. I'm sure some other shows probably have done something similar. I don't follow too many of them. It's not a genre I hate, but it's not a genre I like. It's just kind of, I might watch a show that's in it. It's not like I have to check out every single one of those. But I really, for the most part, enjoyed this. There was some times it got a little bit creepier. But there was some super hysterical stuff with that also. But trying to think, anything else? There's probably a couple I just don't remember right now, like from early in the years. I have a hard time remembering all the stuff from winter, because how that kind of comes on technically 2017, but it's on for the majority of like 2018. I forget lots of those shows. Although I guess technically Black Clover did that. I would put Black Clover up here. I know lots of people dislike that show, but I have really enjoyed it. I do myself, for the most part, watch the English. Well, I say that. That's a lie. I follow along the Japanese version, mainly because it's like 3 or 4 episodes ahead. I'm a little bit behind right now when Verve and Funimation split. I kind of dropped my subscription to that because I mainly like to watch dub stuff. But I did go ahead and continue with Black Clover because I liked it so much. I would like to get 3 episodes ahead. And I thought that show was pretty good. There's some complaints about the main character screaming and stuff. In the English version, that's not really a problem. They do a whole lot, I guess, better job there, although I don't have really much of a problem with that. Well, at this point I am with the Japanese dub. I heard it got better, but I never watched the beginning of it in Japanese, so I can't kind of attest to that. But the English version, I would say, is very good. I like a decent bit of the characters in there. The pacing can be a little iffy at times, like that. There was some times where you definitely see they were stretching at the end of the first 52 episodes. That was like the first season. I don't know if they would maybe make another season at that point though or not. But I felt like it got a little bit better afterwards. Overall, I really liked the show. I would recommend watching that. Might do another video talking some more about them when I look some more stuff up, but I did want to kind of do this a little bit off the cuff. Like, if I can't remember the show, it might not be the best one to recommend. I know it could still be a good show, I just forgot the name of it. But for the most part, I kind of just do stuff I can remember off my cuff, or off the cuff. Well, I guess also there was the Gashikashi Season 2, but I mean, if you didn't watch Season 1, Season 2 probably won't do it for you. Still like that show. That show's still pretty good. I had lots of weird changes. Sadly got rid of Hotaro for a decent bit, which saddened me, but I really liked it. But yeah, I think that's it for this year. Well, I guess one more technicality, because I don't think the full season of that released until this year. Because I was thinking about doing what's this year? 2018. Because I was thinking about doing it video in 2018, beginning of that year, of good anime shows to watch, or my recommendations the previous year. And I remember this was kind of contentious whether or not it should actually be on the list or not. But I will add it onto the list. Was Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches, which I think that came out, I don't know how many years ago in Japanese, but they released a dub for it in English. Then it was really good. It's one of the better love stories I've seen this year, which also reminds me of another love story that should definitely have on the list. But a really good show, really funny. There was like some pacing issues with a couple episodes. I felt like I actually had to go look up what the episode was about, because I felt like I missed something in one of them, but that was something weird with like time travel or premonitions of the future and some stuff. There was some weirdness there, but I liked the different characters. I liked the setting. I liked what kind of stuff the show was about. I highly recommend watching it. Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. Something about the guy there's 7 witches at the school that have different powers that if they kiss somebody, they take effect. He has the ability to steal their powers when he kisses them. So he's like the witch killer, I think they call him. But that's pretty interesting. I enjoyed that show. Best show of this past year. Well, maybe not best show of the past year. Well, I guess it depends on what mood I'm in. But Recovery of an MMO Junkie. I'm pretty sure that was this past year. Awesome show. Highly recommend going to watch it. A little bit shorter than the regular show. I think it was just like 10 episodes long, but I think that was good. It was long as it needed to be, which I like it when shows kind of cut that down so they don't extend past the point where they needed to have the show keep on going. But it was about a chick who quits her office job. I think she's like 30 years old because she's tired of it. I think there's like some more plot behind that, but they didn't really cover it too much in the show, which is kind of sad about, because I felt like there was a little bit more to it than that. But she decides to go home and become a NEET. Just play MMO all day long. And she starts off by playing a new MMO, because she used to play this other one, but it shut down. She starts a new one, decides, I'll pretend to be a guy. This one, let's do something different. And it's kind of about her life. Of course, it's a love story. She winds up meeting somebody that she used to know in the old game, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff there. But it's a nice, kind of slow burn, romantic comedy thing about a very socially awkward woman trying to date somebody or interact with people after she decided to like shut herself in her room for the past year and play nothing but video games. It's very sweet, touching, can make you cry. I think the end, like one of the last episodes, really did. There was lots of emotional stuff happening there. I can't recommend that one enough. Really good. Might actually technically been last year, but I'll still recommend it. I think it's actually made it to the top 5 anime for me of all time, which is kind of impressive. Most new shows don't manage to do that. But that one is one I really recommend. But with that, that's the end of this super long recording. I'm looking at the time right now. We're about to hit 1 hour and 20 minutes in, so I definitely need a whole lot more video to play in the background. Hope next time I might have another person here with me, so it's not just me talking the whole time. A little bit back and forth, the banter and some other stuff, but I can't guarantee that. It might not even be a next time, I don't know, it depends on how interesting or how much people care about this. I doubt anybody really want to watch me talking for 1 hour and 20 minutes by myself, but you never know, people like podcast stuff, so I decided to try my hand at it. But I hope you have enjoyed this time and look forward to the next one. Do comment below if you have any feedback. I also have a Discord that should be linked in the description for this video. Feel free to join that. Talk about different content, some other stuff there. Would like to grow that at some point if anybody is actually interested. Not too many people are there. But I would like to try that out. Nice to have a place to kind of comment with people. I mean, I feel like now after the advent of Discord, I barely even comment in the actual comments for videos anymore. I just go to the Discord and talk about it. But, like I said, still leave a comment if you feel like it. I'd like to get some feedback on this, how to change it, maybe what to do differently next time. Subjects, what are your thoughts on some of the stuff mentioned here. But with that said, this was Cool Gripply, signing out. Goodbye and have a wonderful day.